Months pass, and no word returned from the Perseus sector in response to my distress signal. So I sent out Scout Captain Arkell to see what was happening. In the meantime, I established a blockade by the Julgon system to try and slow down any advancement on our main base. But our actions did not go unnoticed.
Hey, boss! Them humans have set up one of those block thingies!
What the zog? Why'd they put this here? Don't they know I'm coming through?
What do you want to do, boss?
Ain't it obvious? Stomp them till they get out the way!
Alexander moved his fleet up the far side of the system, using the asteroid field as a shield from most of the blockade ships. The Orcs then fired a salvo of torpedoes as well as a wave of bombers and assault boats to intercept incoming ordnance and ships that tried to get in front of them. Our fleet came about in a sweeping angle in hopes to catch the Orcs as they passed by, then get behind them to mop up. The Justice fired its Nova Cannon, managing to destroy one of the Speedy Death ships. The Night Watch launched fighters to screen the Justice, while the Argo launched fighters to take out the Orc assault boats. The Orc bombers then attacked the Argo.
Argo reporting in. Weapon batteries on the starboard side have taken a big hit, but we managed to keep them on. I don't know how much longer we can keep them going, though.
The Orc fleet pressed forward, but it was very odd. Throughout the whole battle, they seemed very focused on getting past the blockade, more than anything. The Golden Git squadron fired torpedoes at the Argo. One wave made contact, but thankfully missed. Not willing to take the risk, the Justice sent out the fighter screens it had to take out the torpedo salvo that was right in front of the Argo. As the Justice and Argo closed in on the Orcs, the Night Watch flew right into a warp rift. The Night Watch wouldn't reappear for several months after that. Firing all they had, the Justice and the Argo was able to destroy most of the Speedy Death squadron, but still couldn't stop the fleet advancement completely. But that did seem to get their attention. The Golden Gits changed their heading and moved in to attack position. The remaining ships of the Speedy Deaths moved in on one of the bomber waves to clear it out before the cruisers could get hit by it. In the end, the escorts were destroyed. The Golden Gits fired at the Justice but missed. The two Orc cruisers then launched assault boats on the Argo.
The Argo's taking a lot of hits here. Prow armament damage, starboard weapons are down, the engines took a major hit as well, but it's still giving us full output.
The fleet continued to close the gap. The Justice then fired its Nova Cannon again at the cruiser but only clipped the Red Terror. The Argo fired a broadside on the Golden Gits, but even at close range they were unable to break through their shields.
Well, that just wasn't any fun, was it, boys? Let's head out of here until the biggin catches up.
Justice reporting. The Orcs have broken past the blockade.
Copy that, Justice. Pull all ships back to Taurus 9. We will regroup and prepare a counterattack. We haven't lost this yet. The Orcs breaking through our blockade's true purpose would not be realized until it was too late for us to help. With Yanoi's forces getting pushed back to the Moonfall system, it made it that much easier for the Magi dynasty to focus their efforts on trying to destroy them.
Oh, Yanoi, this is the Outer System Patrol Unit. The Magi dynasty have entered the system!
Confirmed, LD Vesa. All ships, this is Ode Alo Yanoi. The Magi dynasty is at our doorstep. Converge on the LD Vesa's location and drive them from our system.
Ho Lu Young reporting. Transmission received. My forces are on their way.
I have allowed the town to survive long enough. Make sure that none survive this time.
Both ships closed in, trying their best to use the asteroid field as cover until a clean shot could be made. The Harvester got their chance first. Coming about the asteroid field, it fired on the LD Vesa.
Starboard weapons have been seriously damaged. We are doing what we can to keep them on, but one more good shot and we will lose them.
The LD Vesa got right on top of the Harvester and unloaded its payload. Railguns, ion cannons, smart torpedoes, and bombers all racked across the Harvester's hull, but did no damage to it. It was then that the Magi's reinforcements started to arrive. A newly constructed shroud came onto the field and got into firing range of the LD Vesa. The Harvester then got behind the LD Vesa where it could do the most damage and be out of danger of return fire. The shroud then fired on the LD Vesa, taking down its shields. The Harvester then fired on the LD Vesa, turning it into a drifting hulk. The Yanoi arrived just a little too late, but it was determined to avenge the fallen starship. Closing in on the shroud, it fired its weapons, causing a critical hit.
Drive systems in danger of failing. Beginning repair protocol now.
At this point, a Magi Dynasty tomb ship and Jackal Squadron came onto the system. Thankfully, for the time being, they were out of firing range of the Yanoi. The Shroud then performed evasive maneuvers to try and get out of the Yanoi's way. This wasn't looking well for Yanoi. He was outnumbered and there was no telling when reinforcements would arrive. With reinforcements still nowhere to be found, Yanoi closed in on the Shroud and tomb ship, seeing them as the greatest threat at the moment. Despite their best efforts, they were still unable to cause any damage. 2 more Shrouds entered the system, and all the Magi's forces fired on the Yanoi.
Oh, Yanoi! Fires are breaking out on decks 8 through 20! Full breach on levels 4, 27, and 30!
Main bridge has been hit. All hands to escape.
This is the Lu Yang. We are on our way. What is your status, oh hello Yanoi?
Oh, Lunung Young. The Yanoi is finished. I am afraid this will be my last fight.
Hold on! We are on our way!
I am sorry, but that is not possible. Lunung Young, I leave this fight to you for the Tau Va.
I will not let your death be in vain.
The Callist arrived along with the Lun Yang. Determined to make the Magi Dynasty pay, the Lun Yang fired on the Harvester ship, managing to cripple it and cause a critical hit.
Power flow disrupted. Lightning Hawk's effectiveness has dropped by 20%.
The Callist then managed to hulk the first Shroud with a volley of railgun fire.
Ulung Young, the Yanoi has drifted into the asteroid field. The vessel is lost.
Rest, friend. Your fight is over now.
The 2 remaining Shrouds came up behind the drifting Shroud to get into range of the Cass. The tomb ship started to move into firing range of the Lun Yang. The Jackal Squadron and the Harvester all got into close proximity of the Lun Yang, and after firing their weapons on her, the Jackals then used their portals to send a strike team aboard the Lun Yang.
Oh, Lun Young, port, dorsal, and prow weapons have been taken offline. The engine room has been hit.
This is hopeless. All ships, pull out! We must start the evacuation of the sector now, before we lose any more lives!
The Cass tried to disengage from the battle but was unable to drop off the Magi scanners. Lun Yang, not willing to risk any more damage to his ship, couldn't wait for the Cass to disengage. Seeing what the Tau were planning, the Shrouds fired on the Cass again and turned it into a drifting hulk.
Lord Hammond, Tau forces have been destroyed. 1 ship managed to escape. Shall we pursue?
1 lone ship is no threat to the Dynasty. I will not waste resources trying to hunt it down. All ships initiate interstellar travel protocol. We have 1 more loose end to deal with.
Command registered. Protocol activated. Awaiting quadrants.